Hello there, everybody. Welcome on this fantastic Monday to another session with us here on the Heroes Without Limits channel for Plains of Providence, our Quest RPG campaign set in a homebrew world of my own creation. It's a pleasure to have you all joining us here, those of you who are with us in chat and such. And it's a great honor and long time looked forward to blessing that we have everyone here with us. So we have a full party, everyone. Let us relish this as much as we can. Because the world is a mess, disabilities flare up, and things happen. So let's enjoy what is likely to be a very interesting aftermath session after last week's rather emotional, intense, stressful, frenetic, any number of, how should we say, various terms which encompass a lot of things happened. So before we get into that, as I take the time to pull up the chat right next to me, so I have that available for what I'm sure will not be pun-filled commentary, looking at Nova. I'll let all the players go around and introduce themselves before we jump into our recap. So whoever would like to take just who are you and who are you playing today?
Okay, hi guys.
Okay, so.
Okay, anyway. Hi guys, my name is Jen, pronouns she, her. I will be playing your lovely, actually local today, naturalist, Serena, who is, a little weirded out right now.
We'll get into why that is after everyone else finishes introducing themselves. Next up.
Hey everyone, I'm Jace. Apologies for not being here last week. If the week feels like a year.
Mood.
But yeah, sounds like I missed a lot. I'm playing Farron, your actually also quite aptly local ranger who apparently has a broken bow.
We'll get into that in the recap. I'm sorry, it was rough. It was a rough session. Next up.
All right, it's me. Hi, it's me, your friend Inez. Good to see you again with the full crew. I'm so happy that we're all here. Let's see. Today, I'll be playing your big buff elf fighter lady called Haurian. And she will protect you all from bad thoughts and bad people. It's fine. It's gonna be all right. I swear.
Your support lesbian is here. Everyone, you're good.
Yes.
Last but not least, Gabriel. Do the unmutes.
Dang mute thing. Hi, I'm Gabriel. I'm playing Nim. The invoker that makes really bad decisions when it comes to fights, apparently. Good bad decisions.
I have no idea what you're talking about. None of your actions will likely have far-reaching consequences for the rest of the campaign. It's all good. With that out of the way, we are going to get into our session 8. Been with this group for a bit now, a couple of months actually, and session 8 is Avatars and Aftermath. So, as a quick recap, we had a quite tumultuous session in which we began with Serena receiving some wisdom from local sort of spirits, but mostly the living will, the lingering will of many humanoid individuals who chose to stay on and protect the primeval garden in a way to tend to the garden per the will of their very souls and beings. And as such, she was warned of and given some sense of what threat was coming, which for Serena took the terrifying form of a fiery creature that seemed to spread a pestilence with whatever area it would touch and corrode plant life around it. Which, on that note, before I get into more of those descriptions, content warning, everyone. Body horror, fungi, mentions of death and possibly grief and such, likely there shouldn't be too much else beyond that, as far as I can tell, because last session was a lot more of that. But most most of the more spooky sort of details will probably be under kind of body horror and or cosmic horror sort of areas. So if you are knowledgeable about what kind of materials come up in that, be aware that will be part of the session in a way, at least in this recap. So giving you a second to get out if you can, if you'd like to. That being the case, Serena's wisdom was given. Wisdom was given to Serena, who immediately rejoined the group, who uh, went forth to deal with an immediate threat in front of them, a massive flower with what appeared to be rose blooms that had long almost decayed and taken on very Icarus sort of colors and tones to them. That as the party tried to go by it, and as Odysseus spoke with the plant, and as Serena took the time to speak with the plant, they found that this massive plant was actually host to the very sort of contained wills and souls of several beings. Almost like they were not allowed to be at rest, something was binding them to there. Choosing not to take an aggressive action and instead try and comfort it, the party managed to get by it, though not without the unfortunate breaking of a bow that happened due to our poor ranger, unfortunately being the only one to fail a check to try and get by it. And in the process of getting by it and getting into the entryway to the temple, the party found themselves beset all of a sudden by large humanoid termite-like creatures that proceeded to try and come down upon the whole party, for which Serena quickly tried to conjure a wall, essentially of thorns, that managed to hold them, though not for very long. And as the party proceeded into the entryway, they found another set of stone double doors, blocked with 4 seals, for which Odysseus was required to invoke a ritual to try and break the seals. During which time the party was hearing the sound of the termite creatures trying to bash down the wall of thorns, while also hearing the sounds of long vine-like roots slapping against said creatures and chucking them farther away. Through all of that mess, the party managed, even at the risk of nearly leaving behind a personal item of significance and also potentially leaving behind Harian, to get into the central chamber of the temple, in which they found not only a pair of ravagers, but also a pair of apostles as well. A fierce conflict ensued, in which the party saw fit not to immediately engage rather the ravagers, but instead the 4 columns of energy that they saw, the 4 columns scattered throughout the room, emanating with energy, beginning to open a portal in the center of the room, a rift into a plane of yet unknown horrors. Pardon, that's the proper phrasing I was looking for. Serena, having informed the group that the Ravagers should not necessarily be ones to be targeted, because for all of the terrifying appearances that they have, they were in many ways confused, frustrated, and in a way being held in service forcibly by the apostles. So instead, the party focused their efforts on the columns, much of the party taking quite a lot of damage in the process, but eventually managed to break the columns, destroy one of the apostles, and free one of the Ravagers, and in destroying the columns, seal the portal, until the portal attempted to erupt forth one last time, and this monstrous being attempted to emerge out of it, taking the form of whatever each of the party members feared most. In desperation, the whole of the party saw fit to try and do whatever they could to slow this creature down, to just keep it from emerging entirely. And in an act of apparent sacrifice, Odysseus called out to the spirits released from the flower, and the lingering energy of spirits who had not been allowed to lay at rest in the temple, and saw fit to remove much of its presence and destroy the rift, and take in the lingering essence of the creature into themselves. falling unconscious afterwards. Their whole form changing from the butterfly winged, very bright, almost golden haired, angelic sort of form to one who now had moth wings, veins that seemed to stand out with an almost ink like darkness to them, and a much more like pallid sort of figure. And that is where we pick up today, where we pick up just a few moments before Odysseus' sacrifice, where Farron, you have landed quite a few shots, broken the columns, and you see your friend struggling to hold back. You don't quite understand yet what it is. And then you see a vision of yourself coming out of the portal. You are not smiling. You are alone. And you hear a disapproving voice somewhere behind the copy of yourself. It looks as though the creature is trying to reach out to you in that moment. Looks like you are trying to reach out to yourself in that moment. What does Farron do?
Rabbit in the headlights. Farron's like frozen. Because they just wouldn't know what to do.
This is something I'll note for folks for the rest of the party. Would it be fair to say the bow that Farron is using sort of drops to the floor at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you all notice that in the midst of this, that Farron's not moving. You're hearing yourself say, "Why doesn't anybody remember me?"
Mm-hmm.
And
Is it fair to say that I am still now with my sword in this beast's paw?
yes, because for you, the manifestation is a beast you have seen from far long ago. And Farron, Farron, as you're hearing that disapproving voice and the individual being like yourself alone, it's flickering though because of Howdian's efforts, because of Serena's efforts, because of Nim's efforts. You're seeing it switch between some of the other ones, which for Serena, you see just for a flicker, your form changes to this monstrous form being of pure fire that looks like a pestilence is coming from its fingertips. For Nim, you see just a monstrous cosmic horror that it defies understanding. And for Howdian, you see a massive beast of some kind.
Some kind of like wolf-like beast. And I'm holding it down, and I hear his bow clatter to the ground. Their bow clatter to the ground, and I look back, and I just shout out, "Farron, come help us!"
Nope. Frozen solid.
Seeing them frozen, I'm gonna kind of like break away, and like you see like Serena in like wolf form come up to you and just kind of like give you a little nudge with her snout. A quick little just like,
Come on.
Probably a little bit of a shock to the system because suddenly a wolf.
you just hear like a
Boop. Boop.
You got wolf booped is essentially the
I have been booped. I was like, just kind of with this like uncertain hand, reach down, pick my bow back up.
I kind of like I strike an inspiring pose next to them.
and
An inspiring
Farron,
wolf pose.
I love you all so much. Farron, you do hear as we now move into the end of the previous session's events of Odysseus attempting to bind it, you hear Odysseus come up from behind you and just put a hand on your shoulder and say, whatever it is, it's not real. Do not let it consume you. And then she proceeds. You watch as a whole, almost like a flock of floating orbs of energy, the echoes that you saw previously, come to be around them and just swarm this creature in a magical blast unleashed from her hands. And the end of last session's events proceed as they did, but with more now of a perspective for Farron to have a sense of just how terrifying that end part was.
Mm-hmm.
But also that your allies or friends, depending on how Farron sees them now, were willing to support you, even while holding back an eldritch horror. Your allies were willing to be there for you. The chamber grows silent. The rift is gone. Odysseus is unconscious in front of you all. And there is one Ravager nearby that just appears very cowed and very confused and just sort of like hiding in one of the corners, kind of scared.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now I can't go near Farron.
I'm gonna go comfort the Ravager and try my best
I
to
think,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I think Nim's holding Odysseus just kind of mildly in shock, and also like I don't know what to do now.
I come walking up with the heavy bootfalls I have, which break the silence in this room. I think it's really a heavy bootfall, which also makes the armor, the full plate armor she has on, just like make noise with every step she takes. And I just kind of kneel by Odysseus and I say, in the last moments, I made her a promise, and so this promise I must fulfill. We must take her home. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
In that moment, I start to when if Nim is holding Odysseus, I would like to gently put my arm where Nim is holding. Odysseus, was she, her, they?
She, they.
She, they.
Interchangeably.
Okay, all right. So I'll put my arm where Nim is holding her. And I look at Nim and I say, you can let go now.
It's okay. I owe her too.
Mm-hmm. It's just that I think I would like to carry her home if that's okay with you.
Yeah, they nod and lift her up, as they can lift her.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually would put them at like even 5 foot height, I think.
I guess.
Because Nim is our shortest party member, only being what was it, like 3.5 feet tall. So this is an interesting sight because Odysseus is quite tall. Because
oh no, Nim is like Nim is over 4, but not like
right.
All right. So I'll like kneel down a little and I'll like take her as comfortably as I can in like a what do you call that kind of carry where you put
Bridal
the arms
carry?
under the knees? Is that a bridal carry?
Yeah,
there we
bridal
go.
carry.
Yeah, that's bridal.
All right.
It's fitting that it's Howdian doing a bridal carry.
True. Yeah, and so I'll hold her like that, sword and all that stowed away, of course. and I just kind of look around the room, and then I'll go towards the door, and I say, whenever you are ready, we can go.
Nim is wrapping up the flaming lasso and then heading over towards flaming lasso is an interesting word.
Flasso.
Not much
Uh-oh.
better.
Wordsmith,
it's not.
really?
No. Is actually looking up at Serena and Farron and seeing what they're doing as they like clamber out of where they were.
I was actually about to ask what is Farron doing? What's Serena doing?
Go for it, Farron.
Farron's probably a little bit lost in themselves, to be honest, because like this is the first time they've actually really had to very openly confront their fear like that. And it was not pleasant. And they probably feel like a little bit weak right now. So they're just kind of like a bit soul searching.
Anna?
I think on the way to the Ravager, I stop by Farron and I just like put a hand on their arm and say, we should talk later.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I would ask you to come with me, but I don't think that thing can come anywhere near you.
No,
meet you outside?
The jacket, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see you
Yeah.
out there.
Yep, cool.
Yes.
I'm going to, sorry, go ahead.
As you move near the Ravager, I think Serena, you would probably take notice of this first. The room, which had previously been kind of decrepit, overgrown, it looks as though, imagine it like a bit of water just beginning to like cascade and run down walls and just spreading out over time, but just flora, just very slowly blooming all across the walls. And especially around Farron, you in particular, you smell. What is the most comforting smell for Farron? What would make them happy to smell in this moment? Like, what would be soothing?
Oh, it'd be like a mixture of like cinnamon, honey, and sandalwood.
You smell honey. You smell like a cinnamon that reminds you of almost like home, where like if you could imagine almost like I don't know if Farron likes raisins, but I'm saying that's an example. Cinnamon raisin, like freshly baked cookies with the rich smell of cinnamon coming out of them, and like honey, like fresh, like someone like the kind of honey that brings you back to a moment as like almost like a kid going by and seeing a merchant like having jars that you know were like freshly like gathered, freshly like just jarred, just maybe a little while back. And Serena, you see the flora beginning to rise up out of the ground at the back of the chamber. And you see a humanoid form beginning to take shape.
Huh? I back up like 3 steps. Continue.
The form is, I have no better phrasing to putting this, but she's a big lady. The hair is done very much like, best way to describe it is like a Fulani braid, where there's like little like cornrows going swept to the side, but the colorations are
Seasons. Is that the same lady?
You see reds, you see vivid greens, you see yellows, you see the chaotic mess of like the end of fall as things begin to decay, and then you see the blooming nature of flowers fully grown in spring and becoming comfortable and wonderful as summer arrives, and then the end of flowers around this long gown that just and dress that just goes past the knees, almost all the way to her ankles. Hair that switches from that sort of Fulani braid now to like wild curls, of massive curls that just spread out like nature, uninhibited and unrestrained.
Is it?
Might as well be.
Welcome.
I just like deep bow.
Nim's just like, wait, what? Like whirling around with like rope and hammer.
I think I do full on like drop to a knee, elbow on the knee, just, you know.
Dear, it's really unnecessary, though it's much appreciated.
Yeah, got you.
Greetings, Serena, Farron, Nim, and Howdian. For those of you who do not know me, I am wild nature itself. I am Zahara. I am the primeval maiden. Or at least what aspects of me linger in this moment in time.
Linger?
My presence is not yet fully returned to the temple, but your poor Jace, but your efforts have allowed my will to return here.
You have a very dedicated dedicated plant outside the door.
Cammy is quite stubborn.
It protected.
For Jace's reference, they named the massive plant chamomile.
We did.
Jace's reaction is exactly mine.
It's not the worst I've heard.
It is entirely my fault. I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's fine. It's totally great.
She's prone to do that. She was much more, for lack of better phrasing, lively prior to the spirits becoming restless.
Well, I hope that we can restore her to her proper glory soon enough.
I hope so as well. And you see her just move, and their presence is, again, this is, as far as any of you can tell, this is being in front of a god, or at least a being of tremendous will and power. And you see them just, the outfit suddenly changes to almost like a kind of like a groundskeeper, but more like what someone might wear for tending a garden. Like just very simple sort of clothes, and just sort of walks over to the Ravager, and just like places a hand like on its head. And this is I believe I said the xenomorph kind of one. Its long craned neck, and it's still like confused and afraid, especially with the sudden appearance of a being it has no comprehension of, and just sort of rests a hand on the forehead. There, dear. You have lived a rather unpleasant life so far, haven't you? And the creature just sort of calms down, and it's very strange. If you could imagine like a xenomorph alien-like creature beginning to suddenly like crunch down more to like a cat balled up, being kind of like uneasy, but like just more like calm and just sleepy.
Oh, can we keep it?
She continues, "Rest, dear. We shall find a place for you. If not with me or them, then at least attend to the garden. Now, I do not come here by chance, but by your efforts, and as such, I must first thank you.
Uh-huh.
Anything to
Somebody else say something. I'm bad at social interactions.
anything
Also,
to keep this
Actually
realm
says
safe.
Nima actually says that verbatim.
And so how will chime in and she says anything to keep this realm safe. There's no question in safety for all.
I would certainly be a poor excuse for a naturalist if I left this garden to its fate.
So I see we have the strong and protective one, and we have the ever dutiful one. I sense Abiro was correct in speaking of you.
It's like, huh?
Yeah. That's very nice, question mark. Thank you, mistress.
Your manners are quite appreciated, though unnecessary, as whatever I may be to any of you, I do not hope you need to stand on decorum on my behalf.
No, I always am like this.
I'm just like this.
And you sense they walk forward, just sort of very casually. The Ravager is now just sort of calmly, like in the corner, curled up like a cat. And they just sort of carry over, and they actually walk forward to Farron first.
I'm still on a knee, head bowed.
It is very interesting to see you without the usual display of pride you have, young bowmaster.
Uh,
I just
yes.
Like, say something.
yeah. I'm like
Farron, the
look
nice
at
god
him,
is talking to you.
I am sorry for the things you've had to deal with and be reminded of to help this place.
Could have been worse.
Could have. And yet, in part because of your efforts in particular, it is not. I think because of this, it deserves a reward.
She's gonna fix the bow.
who knows?
You see her sort of reach into a pouch that looks like if someone were keeping a bag of seeds nearby, like just in a personal little sleeve right there. She pulls out a bag of them, one of which she pulls out a single seed, and she asks you to present the broken bow in front of her.
I do. Still down on one knee, but I just hold it up.
She presses the seed to the point where it just split right across, say the main like body of it, as opposed to like this, yeah, right around the middle part where
Yeah.
that curve is actually happening, where it's split, and you watch as like little tiny flowers. It's imagine something being sutured or sewn together, but it's flowers and little vines doing it to the bow.
Oh, that's so pretty.
This will keep the bow from breaking.
Thank you so much.
And I think if you're willing to put in a little effort to spread this goodness everywhere else, she hands you over the bag of seeds as well. These are what are called seeds of creation, homeward, seeds of creation. This is for your benefit, Jace. If you look in the PDF for Quest and look at the Ancient Ranger's pouch, it is essentially that. You have a pouch that is made of leather hide that looks so old it's nearly fossilized, and it's filled with seeds. When you plant one of them, it will grow into a fully sized sentient tree creature within 1 week, and the tree knows who you are and considers you a friend for life. The tree will always adapt to its current environment and can be any tree you have seen in your life. Essentially, she's letting you take the garden with you.
We have Ents.
See, now, Inez, we can all hang out with Ents.
Yes! Oh my god. The excitement is real.
Holy shit.
I trust whether to defend yourselves or for comfort. And you do watch as she drops one of the seeds, and it forms like a very small tree humanoid, but it smells around you, Farron, it smells distinctly of cinnamon and honey. And whatever the most enjoyable smells for Serena and Howdian and Nim would be, whenever the creature just goes by you, you like, if Farron were to like exclaim like, "Oh, it smells like cinnamon or honey," you would never smell that unless that's something that you enjoyed smelling.
Mm-hmm. Charcoal
always...
and brimstone.
The most metal end ever.
Yes.
Mint and lavender.
Good.
Nim's still like, what the fuck is going on? What is all of this? Why is there a god here?
The last time Nim had to deal with someone like this, Serena had to save their butt, so
well, yeah.
To be fair, Serena also made them mad at her too for a minute, so.
But you did save my butt.
Got you. I got you. And your butt.
You also see peering around her neck. It looks almost like a mantle with almost like a cape to the back of it that flows back, but it's composed of red, orange, and yellow crystalline foliage that shimmers and emanates a faint magical energy to it. She removes the mantle and sets it down. For whomever one of you would like this, it is yours. It will protect you from nature's wrath, or at least the worst parts of traveling through and dealing with nature, should you be willing to exercise your own energy into it. Part of nature is tending and giving some in order to receive some in return, as is the way that nature works. And I think when she walks over to Howdian, you seem like the protective type.
I think you have that right.
You see, there's almost like a set of work gloves to keep from like one might wear for like ensuring that you don't hurt your hands, like if you're like trimming like the ends of roses to avoid the thorns and such.
Mm-hmm.
She hands them over to you.
I first of all I like take a knee and set Odysseia down very gently, and then I get up and I take the gloves.
If you put them on, you watch as both of the gloves, they form into I guess like the most nature punkish gauntlets you could ever imagine.
Oh,
as the gloves sort of become gauntlets that work around your hands. And you see that there's almost like kind of stickiness to the palms of them, as you have gained the maiden's work gloves.
Oh.
Howdian, or rather Inez, for your benefit, if you look up the item called the Catcher in in the PDF for the quest book, you essentially have that, but I've added a couple little abilities for it. Normally, when you have it, you can grab any bladed or natural weapon about to strike you and prevent the enemy from hitting you if you spend an ability point. Even if their attack was successful, and you may take the weapon from them. If you
Whoa.
spend 2, you can intercept and catch an attack being made on a nearby ally. And if you choose to spend 3, you may choose to redirect the attack back on the aggressor, essentially dealing equivalent damage to whatever their strike would have been to you. It is essentially, you are, in a way, a steward of nature's wrath, ensuring that it only be allowed to hurt those who deserve it, or who you deem to deserve it.
Oh my god. That sounds so fucking badass, bro. Oh shit. All right. I've pictured them to be like dirt colored on like the hand side, but then when you turn them over, it's like plates and plates of like tightly woven together like vines and little flowers peeking through, and like they're like really, they have like the individual finger parts, you know, so all that stuff. That's so cool. Oh my god.
And as for the poor singer, she walks forward to Odysseus. She rests a hand on them. She lives. Faintly, but she lives.
Is there anything we can do to enhance this faintness of life?
Rest, and if you are in possession of any healing, it would help. I will do what I can to offer her a boon as thanks for their part in this. And you see them set down a hand around Odysseus' chest and just raise it up, and you see the orb of energy that they took in just be pulled out. I sense it is not gone entirely.
We'll take care of her. We'll get her back to home, and we will ensure that she is well cared for.
Know that your journey is not done yet. This creature is not yet defeated. This is but a fragment of its will.
Thank you for aiding us in this battle and helping us get as close as we can to decimate this creature from this plane of existence and the next.
We will end this in the mountains.
We all hope that you will be successful in doing so.
Thank you.
The others worry, but I think your efforts here have convinced at least myself and maybe some of them that their faith is not misplaced.
Your faith will get us through these next few days.
Tend to the gardens of your life, dears. Watch over each other. Life is ever shifting and ever chaotic, and as such, be prepared for when it changes. You see the form change again back to her like resplendent glory. I wish you well. May the maiden's grace be with you, and may your gardens flourish. And just sort of starts walking towards the back, and you see her like reach out to the Ravager, and it awakens and just sort of starts to walk over with her.
Oh.
That's very good.
And almost like just like mist slowly disappearing as sunlight sort of comes up in the morning. The form just slowly disappears. The
Just
Ravager
like look
going with
over
her.
at Aaron. I'm just like,
This meant Sahara.
yeah, we did. I think we just share like a fangirl moment.
It really is.
I just like glance down at the
Nim's
cloak
just-
and I'm like,
Nim's just like, oh hey, I didn't completely fuck up. Okay, good.
no, we did great.
Yeah, I pick up Odysseus. I say, completely fuck up. You didn't fuck up at all.
And just like carefully gather the cloak. I'm just like, does anyone else want this? I low-key do, but I don't want to be that person, you know?
Serena, just take it.
I think it is yours.
Okay.
So, Jen, for your
Yeah.
benefit, I'm going to post all of these descriptions in our private Discord so that you have
Yes,
access
please.
to it for real. But just so you have a sense of what you've gained, this is a homebrew item for quest that I've created, built off of something else I created in another system.
Ooh.
This is called the Mantle of the Maiden. While wearing this mantle, you gain access to 3 benefits. If you spend an ability point, you can become immune to the negative effects of any environmental terrain for up to 8 hours.
Oh, she is.
If you spend 2, you can gain resistance to fire, cold, or lightning damage of any kind. That one will only last for 1 hour, though. And if you spend 4, you can essentially invest the power of nature, call upon it. It will render the mantle null and void for the rest of the day. But if you use 4, anyone who might fall unconscious nearby, you can keep them up at 1. But you don't get an
Ooh.
action your next turn, and you don't get to move. That's essentially the balance to it.
That's what we call good shit.
Yeah.
I was about to say that last ability would be worth it just for me, but definitely Serena deserves this item.
Yep.
So basically I can just be like, no, you're gonna stay up.
Yeah.
And I basically like I sacrifice my turn to keep them up.
Yeah, basically, like if someone falls nearby to you, before it runs the risk of their potentially being attacked again, and then running the risk of like dying. This quest is both immensely harder and immensely easier to die in some ways because of how dying works. You can forego the whole of your entire turn just focusing on the cloak, pulling out all of the power of nature from it that's protecting you.
And being like, no, get up.
No. Basically, just it's essentially you invoke the power of nature to keep someone alive. I'll have to fiddle around with the description and some tweaks. I might change the numbers and everything, but
yeah.
Just so you know, it's at its base, this protects you from the most dangerous things in nature, just in terms of environmental navigation. Which, considering that you know the mountains are coming up, will
Cold.
probably be helpful.
Little on the chilly side, yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
But
I know the way.
temple-
It's fine.
You know the way. Your keen elven eyes possibly are aware of what's coming next.
Possibly.
But that being the case, the temple is now flourishing. And the room is full of flowers of various kinds.
Chamomile.
To run back.
I
up
rush out to go see chamomile, yes.
Nim's just looking around at everyone like, I guess we should go. We got somewhere else to be, and also I'm assuming we're gonna have to eventually stop Serena from petting that flower a million times.
She can pet the flower. It's fine.
That sure is a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
not a
me
euphemism.
tea.
It is not a euphemism. So yeah, I think I'll start walking outside with Odysseia in my arms and
Serena, you walk outside. I'm gonna avoid being particularly graphic, but just gonna say the word everywhere.
Yes, chamomile.
Like all the creatures have been batted everywhere.
Yes,
Chamomile's like to shreds.
wait, what? Okay.
It was part of the cost of keeping you all safe. It seemed to take very strongly to you being kind to it.
I think I'm just gonna sit down by it and say a little prayer to, the lady over there.
That lady, I forgot her name because I just met her and I don't know what to say.
Zahara, yeah. And I'm gonna try and gather up as much of chamomile as I can, and just keep some of her in a pouch, like the weirdo that I am. Maybe I'll make some tea out of her.
oh no.
It's already been said in the chat.
Ah!
You actually, as you're gathering up some of the remains, though, you do see, like, way beneath all of the blooming, like, now, like, decaying petals and such, there's a little sproutling that looks like it's beginning to take hold.
Oh my goodness, I love her. I'm just going to burn a quick 0 AP for Command Nature to have it bloom just a little bit more.
It's very tiny. Very tiny.
I lean down and I say, "Welcome back, chamomile. I'll come back and visit you when this is all over. Thank you for your sacrifice."
I sure do make a prayer to Abira as well, because that was one strong plant.
That was a badass plant.
Yeah, and it showed like more battle readiness than me even. So
I didn't expect to be this sad about a plant.
Oh,
Here
no.
I am. I'm really sad about the plant, guys. But like,
I've done my job
It's coming
very
back.
well. You care about a plant.
That is like peak druidic vibes right there.
You're
I'm
right.
sad about plants, guys.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I mean,
There's a new sprout.
I will say I will say Howdy, and you do feel Abira's presence here.
Oh, I do. Damn.
Yeah. You will recall the maiden did say they're all wondering if their faith was well placed in all of you.
Mm-hmm. I I cautiously look around, like if she's peeking over my shoulder or whatever, I don't know if I see her or no, but
You don't see her, you don't see anything. You just there's it's more like a feeling of comfort.
Yeah. All right.
So this image of Howard just being a SpongeBob meme for half a second.
Yeah.
While Farron and Serena are like the SpongeBob movie meme with SpongeBob and Patrick just sitting on the ground with their mouths wide open.
Oh my god.
Nim, as everybody is doing this, is just like, okay, practically we should get Odysseia back now.
Yeah, we
right?
gotta go. You're right. Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
for
Which
Nim's there, it's like, who's in possession of the party's one brain cell right now?
Yeah, just Nim. Nim's got the brain cell.
Nim currently is the one just being like, "Hey, can we get the fuck out of here, everybody?"
Yeah.
Can we get
we're
on
still
with
in
our
the forest.
time sensitive mission? A very
Yeah,
time
'cause-
sensitive mission.
Yeah,
please.
because I will say, you do have, I think roughly with the 2 weeks with everything, you're at least a couple of days through that. You're probably like 4 or 5 days through the 2 weeks. You know when the bird is scheduled to arrive.
Let's
Oh,
move
we
it.
gotta- Yep. We should have asked Zahara for a teleport, but let's just go.
Yep. Okay, let's see if we can just like
I
call
mean,
Cosmo and be
do
like,
you
hey.
say that out loud?
Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
Nim
no.
has 0. Nim has exactly this much filter.
You
Nothing
do
is in
see-
her head. Their head.
Yeah, you do see one of the trees nearby. I'm gonna go just cliche enough here and say, if for anyone who's ever seen Nightmare Before Christmas, you know the way the doors to each of the seasons are.
Hell yeah.
There's a door. There's like suddenly, or as though it's always been there. There's a doorway, just right there, just in one of the massive trees next to you.
Am I the only one seeing the doorknob?
Oh, Nim's already over there and opening it. Like he couldn't get this person to not.
Oh.
What's this?
God.
what's this?
Oh my god.
Nim simultaneously has the 1 brain cell and the -1 brain cell.
Yes.
Just look up. Thanks.
I would say Farron and Serena in particular, you just hear the sound of a very happy giggle happening, like someone is having a very big laugh over this.
Well, she's laughing at us. Anyways,
Better laughing
Door-
than mad.
true.
Doorway.
Doorway? Question mark? Nim?
Doorway.
What's
Yeah,
going on
so
there?
Nim's opening the doorway. What is there?
You go through, and when you open it, you see inside. You can see the River Pod community.
Just toss her in.
Just... oh god.
Nim's just like, hey, how?
Here's your necromancer. Bye.
Oh my god.
The
There's that-
Oh, but
worst.
Odysseus was not.
Do not say yeet. Do not yeet a dead body.
She's
Do
just
not-
dead.
Oh my god.
I will note, not dead.
All right, you know,
Not dead.
very much unconscious.
One yeet away from death.
Oh god. Anyways, if we all can see through and I can see the Riverpod community, I'll just be like taking my big boot through, just going.
You walk through, and you swear you're by the oak tree that sort of that was right at the outside boundary of the River Pod community.
Oh shit. All right. I wait for everyone to get through before walking on.
Yeah.
Nim's just like, hey, let's go, and also,
Yeah. Zahara, I mean, she called me protective, so now I have a standard to live up to.
Like, heck, now I gotta actually like
dang
do it.
Well, yeah. No, I wait for everyone to get through, and then I start walking towards the house. I don't do it very quickly because I dread this moment. I don't like it.
And also, it's more dramatic if you do it nice and slowly and slow-mo with like the
That too.
Oh,
flow
the
like
full
air.
Viggo Mortensen door push.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup.
With I'm hearing like a 4-piece string chord, like a string, just like a string piece.
Sad string. Yep.
Yes. This just
Maybe like a single soprano, just like choiring it up
Yes.
over there.
just the tiniest.
Yep.
violin. Oh,
As you're
God.
doing this, you do eventually see a Selkie come running towards the group with a cane.
We broke her. Not really.
We didn't break her.
We didn't break her.
If I see them running up, I'll just kind of stop in my tracks, and then take a knee, and just kind of like present Odysseus. And it is are they like running up, or are they, what's going on?
They look like they're in a pretty big amount of pain trying to actually run over it with the cane. Like they're not leaning on it appropriately. They look like they're just more like after a certain point they like drop the cane and then realize that was a terrible idea and try and go back to get it, but they look like they're torn like Gina, and they decide to go and just stop in front of you. They look like they're visibly in pain.
It was gonna help them.
What happened? Is she gone? Is she gone? Is it?
She's alive.
She is not gone. She made a heroic sacrifice to help us fulfill our duty. She is still with us. We promised you to get her home. I couldn't leave her.
She needs rest and care.
Yeah. I'm sorry you have to see her like this, but it's what she wanted.
Just bring her home. Just bring them home.
I will. And I just stand up, and then my pace quickens to get towards the house quickly, as Nim probably helps them go back. And I barge into the house, and I find like the couch or her own bed chambers, maybe to put her down in somewhere comfortable.
Yeah.
With that happening, you do see Mary's not really saying anything, or like if they're saying anything, it's like a whole bunch of like starts to words, and it's like a stream like that's happening, where like they look like they keep trying to think of, like it's a couple of minutes of just basically hearing them just be like, well, maybe I could do, but no, maybe that might be comfortable. Like it's a lot of that.
If that's the case, Nim is going to walk over and gently put a hand on Odysseus' shoulder and burn 3 AP for oblation, which auto makes her conscious and with 6 hit points.
Oh,
okay.
Love that.
Okay. You do see them.
Also, oh no, that's for if I want to do something else. Yeah, conscious and with 6 hit points.
From which class is that from? From which playbook?
Oh, that's Invoker. Oblation is Invoker.
Invoker is broken. Not actually. It's actually very.
Invoker. I tried.
Invoker is I took wards in Wrath, which is probably the best things you can get.
Yeah, I see it. Create Uttering a loving word or phrase, creature recovers 6 hit points and wakes up if they're unconscious. Yeah. You
So then Nim's just going over, placing a hand on her shoulder and kind of like just looking down at her going, this isn't over. You got this.
that happens. And you do see them start to stir just very faintly. And they sort of look over at Mary and hear them just sort of very, very weakly saying, I made it home.
Oh, my heart.
And you just see Mary just sort of like jump at them and just like hugging them, and you hear pain from both of their ends as Mary is still like in a lot of pain from having just that bit of movement and having what seems to be in the middle of a flare up right now. So it really hurts.
Yeah. About it, would I be able? Yeah. Would I be? Sorry. Would I be able to use like remedy to go and find some things to take the edge off of for both Miri and Odysseus?
Yeah, you could spend like a bit of time doing that. So it'll take you like probably about, I think it's an hour, the ability says. Yeah. So Baron's like, this is not my area of expertise. This is my area of expertise. I'm gonna go deal with this. Yeah, you would be able to do that. And you do see probably Howdy and Serena and Nim are seeing most, like Mary like going back and forth between like crying and being happy and like almost like sucker punching Odysseus as well. Being like, don't you ever do that again. Don't do that. I know you said you need to do this, and I know you kind of do this all the time, but still, no.
I love these two.
It was just like, okay, let's not. I don't have a lot of energy to do that again.
Also, we gotta go.
That's right. I wanna go to bed, but you're right.
I will note for the record, for Farron, because you take the time to step out of the home in order to get all the things for remedies, you do see there are echoes around the home. Just a few. But they seem like they're actually like almost, if floating orbs of light could stand watch, they almost look like they're just a few of them around their home now.
There's a vigil.
Cool. Still really unnerving.
It is the dead, so it is, yes. It's a perfectly valid response. It is the dead.
Mm-hmm. I just kind of go up to Mary and I kind of go like, is there anything that can help you take care of Odysseus? We sadly have to be on our way, but
I'll do what I can to take care of them. I still know some remedies. I still know songs. Maybe songs will make them feel better. Maybe that's the way some people help, right?
I think that would be awesome. Yes.
And there's a very clear look on their face of like someone who's like kind of desperately looking for like reassurance. Like, that's gonna help, right? This is a tangible thing I can do to help, right?
I'm just like a person that only nods their head. I'm just like, yes. Everything helps. Everything what you're saying is fine. And please keep doing all those things. You're doing great. I'm very reassuring.
Do you need
one other question? Mm-hmm. Not to like burn all of my AP before we even leave this place.
Might as well.
Oh no, you say might as well, and I'm like, okay, so when am I gonna get into a fight and need this? Said not have it. It's always reassuring seeing the guide do that.
Would I be a proper guide if I didn't do that?
Yeah, beg my gods for more AP. So
you did get her home.
Yeah, we got her home.
And you also took the time to take care of her. You could have just like left her and just been like, all right, we're out.
Mm-hmm.
Who
No,
would
no,
do
that-
that?
You would be surprised. This is
You
not an
would
unheard
be
of thing.
very surprised.
I don't put it past that there are groups who would take that attitude for what they would feel would be very valid reasons. And because you are not those groups, I actually think it is appropriate that you get 2 AP here for taking the time to take care of Odysseus. I do think it's appropriate.
Cool, because they said that part of the creature was still attached to her.
Yeah.
So the fun thing with the fizzle is I might be able to restrict it for an hour if it's not the full creature.
You don't know, is the way I'll put it to you.
I'll take the chance.
Okay.
I'm not wise. I just do things.
Okay. Nim, I want you to roll me a d20.
Yeah, I thought that was coming. Dice. Memo to self: always open dice bag before
Before games.
before a game. Yeah.
Okay.
$17.
Okay. You manage to, for a period of time, it's a very painful experience for Odysseus to go through. But and you see Mary be happy, and you see Odysseus say that ask Mary to, if it would be possible for them to go and make you all some tea. And while they're out of the room, it will not work.
I'm sorry, I tried.
It is not your fault. It is what I've asked of those who are gone to do for me in exchange for what I would give to them in return. I've always tried, by choice, to help those who have remained not at rest in this place. It is my home. Mary is my home. But to hold this creature here and to repay the debt I feel I have now invoked towards these spirits, I do this now by obligation. And I believe I am tethered to this place now until they are fully at rest. And I do not know how long that will be for. I sense it may even be beyond what my natural life should be.
Just let me fix something.
See them sort of put a hand to Nim and just be like, dear, you can't fix everything. And trying to won't. It will be a fool's errand. Sometimes the most that you can do is try your best to help and care. And from what the maiden informs me, you've all done quite a lot.
Do you have like a telepathic head thing with her?
Sometimes those of us of faith are answered. I trust I need not explain that to you or to your friends. But yes, I will watch over this place. And I will set my affairs in order with Mary. They're just glad to have me back. I just want to have the conversation with just us, if that's all right with all of you. Thank you, really, for all that you've done. You have helped, whatever losses happen.
Well, and thank you for aiding us, getting us there, and dealing the final blow on this beast.
I owe it to this place and to those who've gone before us. I trust wherever you go next, whomever you meet, that they will be as grateful as I am to have met you.
Yeah, is it okay if we rest somewhere so we can do that?
Yes.
Because
Yes,
out of
please.
character, I have 4 hit points.
I mean,
It's just like, nah, guys, you gotta leave right
Fine.
now.
out of character, you only recover health. You really only get, that's about it. Just as a reminder to everyone, you don't get any more AP or anything when you rest. You just get health back.
Mhm.
Oh no, I know. That's why I was taking I knew I was taking a risk when I cast it.
But it's fine. I can also spend some AP to quickly recover some health, and then we can just go.
It's your call.
It is my call, and I want to do that.
You want to head out?
I want to head out, but it says here that I have to recite a poem at the table.
Yes, I'm going to make you look for a poem and recite it on this occasion.
Well, I thought of one before last week. See if I can remember it.
I was gonna say how much are people at, because I know I'm not great, but
I'm only down 2. And like, don't forget, I have like a second, like I have as many pools of hit points as I can do transformations, so I'm good.
All right. It's 3 HP restoring, which would put me at 9, but it's more.
I think we should do a haiku that's just the word heal 17 times.
Oh my god. No. It was something like by the might of Abira, and the strength of the fight, we must fight on to dispose of this blight.
Okay.
That's it.
So, yes. So heal up, however much the ability states.
3
And
HP.
So the whole party gets 3 HP.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you.
So if the group wants to head out, I will note it is nighttime. Or at least it is getting near nighttime.
But we've got a god on our side. She's not gonna let the forest kill us. It's fine.
You got a god as long as you're here, and also you don't know if she's still around.
Also, we need to get to the mountains, which do I know from here the way towards the mountains? Do I know
you don't
which
know
direction?
In the forest. While you're in the forest, you're still kind of lost in terms of figuring out the right way out.
What about Farron and I?
Farron probably has the highest. Farron and you probably have the highest chance of figuring out, because that's the next obstacle, is getting out of the forest. You do now basically you have to figure out how to get to east. But the
Mountains
forest
are
isn't
east.
exactly-
Okay.
Yes, because heading east will get you to the mountain range. And if there's anything you want to do in preparation, because you, in terms of clothing or what have you, you do know the mountains, at least in Audien's experience, are very cold. Like, we're talking blizzards, gale winds, that kind of cold.
Once we get out of the forest, we should find a place where I can get a jacket.
Or here. They make jackets here, I think.
It's true. You could ask some of the Southie folk. I would say Howdian would probably be aware. There is a trading post kind of town that tends to be a good resupply point for folks. Right at the base of the western base of the mountain range, called
Love
Flashpoint.
it.
Called
Yes.
what
Yeah,
is it?
Flashpoint?
Flashpoint?
Yeah,
Got it. Awesome.
Or we'll
because I have
start
to stick with
freezing.
the fire motif for
All
Oh, so
right.
valid. So valid.
I am for this.
Let's do it.
Do we need means of transport to get there?
your call, Farron.
One last thing Farron's going to do before leaving the river pod is find a point like around Odysseus' home where they can plant a seed.
Okay. Yes, because the way I'm interpreting the thing as it's written and how I've redone it is that you can either summon the creature or you can just plant a tree and it will be whatever tree you want it to be.
Yeah. So I'll plant one and it will eventually grow into the same sort of willow tree that my bow is made from.
Cool.
I love it so much.
I like it. It's so good.
Because even though Farron still is kind of like a little bit reticent and hesitant around Odysseus because spirits and dead things, she did really, really help them. And because of that, they also got to meet Zahara. So it's kind of like a way of them saying thank you.
Ooh.
I'll say, because I rolled the dice for this, the pouch that you have with you started with 6 seeds, so you have 5 seeds left to work with. Because I rolled a d6 and I rolled a 6, so you have
Nice.
max.
Mm.
The maiden is with you. And, yeah, you see the sproutling. It's interesting. The seed almost seems to be red, yellow, and orange, but like crystalline to it as it sinks in. And then it just very slowly begins to start blooming. It looks like it'll take a little bit of time, but with a little bit of tenderness and care, it'll probably sprout to be a very big tree.
I as we like step outside, making sure, of course, Odysseus is being taken care of. I just look at the group and I say, I think we should find some means of transport, something that will get us there quicker.
Quick question for Firebird Guide. How thick are the trees? Like, how many seas are we talking? Like, how thick is the forest?
Right now, getting into the river pod, the edges of it don't seem to be as thick. You know, the forest, just based off your various wanderings into it, it shifts all the time. Like, it gets to be like super like grown over and vines covering everything. And some points it's like very vast, like
So it
almost like
wouldn't
alleyways of it.
So it wouldn't be practical to shapeshift into an elephant.
The weird thing is, I thought you were going to suggest elephant. And I was like, no, that's too absurd. And I'm like, no, that's the
Nope.
right amount of absurd. I'll say this for the alleyway areas, you probably could be an elephant and it would expedite the process. It is your call.
Hey guys, how do you feel about elephant travel?
I could just hear the elephant marching song from the Jungle Book right now.
Oh my god.
How do y'all feel about elephant travel, y'all?
What's an elephant? Does it help us get there faster?
Big boy. And yes, it will. Well, I can carry all of you. I think, right? Elephants are huge. I can totally carry 4 people. Okay.
Yeah, I'll say yes, mainly because the image of an elephant trying to get through a forest is amazing. and I don't want to in any way rain on this parade. There's pink elephants on parade.
Yeah.
I can rain on it if I just take some water and just go.
Oh my god. I think Hao is like, yes, let's do it, fully not knowing what an elephant is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all are gonna want to climb up into some trees so you can get into my back.
Okay.
Climb into trees.
Farron just like this
Farron-
is hilarious.
Farron's
Climbing
already-
trees, you say?
Farron's already like up in a tree
climbing.
being like, all right, let's do it.
So after Farron does remedy, we can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It'll take the last bit of the hour for Farron to finish up and planting the seed and what have you. And I'll say that because I think this might be a good time for break if that works for everyone. I'll say the last sort of scene is that you're all hearing. You've heard from the previous night or two that you've stayed here, like Selkies singing songs. Just in the background. This time, there seems like there's some small groups, because it's very public the way you kind of came in, so it seems like news is spread of Odyssea's unfortunate state. But it seems like there's a lot of Selkies have gathered. And you just start hearing like some music just coming about. Yeah. And then you start hearing like rounds of that and like various like different octaves, different harmonies to that. And as that happens, like there's more of the echoes just sort of very, very calmly just arrange themselves around the home. Again, almost in vigil. There's a peacefulness to it. And knowing that whatever fate is going to befall Odysseia from here on out, the party has done what they can for now. And knowing that one half of their task is done and the other half remains, that is where we're going to take our break for this session, as we'll be back in about 10 minutes to continue on as the party now tries to make their way out of the forest and start heading towards the mountain range known as a warrior's downfall, as the first of the two groups that had set off from Chantico has been dealt with. A Ravager now apparently in the service to the primeval maiden themselves, and the party better equipped with items gifted by the maiden herself.
I'm gonna marry that lady.
Yeah, this seems to be the consensus of the group. Someone will marry a god at some point.
Yes.
Also, hey, free elephant.
Also
Relevant.
but relevant. Yes. With that,
Relevant.
we'll be back in 10 minutes, everybody. Thank you for joining us so far. We'll be back very soon. So we'll see you in a bit.
See you later.
Hello again,
Jeez.
everybody. Welcome back. As our group is obviously continuing on the level of seriousness you've come to expect from our campaign, as well as the level of ridiculousness. Hello there, Gabriel. I don't know what you're doing. I will ignore that for now. Welcome back, if you're just joining us, to Plains of Providence, a Quest RPG campaign in a homebrew setting of my own creation. We have our fantastic players who've, oofa doofa, have just gone through a lot of emotions in relation to one gay couple, essentially, and one NPC gay couple. One gay NPC couple. That's, I think, the correct order of that. Wording.
One of them did admittedly say this.
Yes, one
Also,
of them
they're adorable.
Yes, also cute. And this is not, and they are not at all standing for my partner and I in this world.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Hey, you know.
Also, that intro was me hiding my hair, which is an absolute mess right now.
It's we don't notice.
It's fine. I'm wearing
Anyway.
pajama pants. It's fine.
I dress up for all of you.
Wow.
I try.
I dressed up last week. It's fine.
Last week was a lot. But
I'm wearing a heated blanket. That counts.
There we go.
I think you win by nature of comfort. Anyways. So with that being said, the party has decided not to take a rest and instead just try and venture out, probably more around like dusk with all the events that have happened, the conversation with the primeval maiden, a very literal manifestation of chaotic nature whose will is said to have infused the very forest which they are trying to traverse through. So the party has decided to go that most tried and true method of getting through a forest chaos by riding their elephant. The elephant being their companion, having shapeshifted into an elephant.
That's me. Hi, guys.
Before even suggesting what roles need to happen with this, I just want a general reaction from what the characters' responses to elephant is.
I mean, how doesn't know what an elephant is? So, but she acts like she does. So elephant appears, and it's like Wow. What a majestic being, right, everyone? So beautiful and cool.
I just like use my my trunk to just like pluck some leaves off of some trees and just sprinkle them on my own head. Just very majestic.
Yes. Very good.
Aaron's just like regarding this elephant. It's like, I just met the literal god of the forest. That's not that impressive.
I just like, I do just kind of like right on their head. Like plunger style, you know?
Nim is just sitting there like, shit, that's tall. Wait, that's normal for me. Okay, let's go.
Oh, can I lift them onto my back with my trunk?
Yeah,
Or like a bridge with my trunk.
Yes, because I don't see anything wrong that could happen from this whatsoever. Nor is this necessary because you had already asked them to all climb up to the top of a
Oh,
branch
that's
to
right.
be on.
That's
But
right.
no, you've asked for this
Oh,
instead,
okay.
so we're overriding that previous statement. So,
All right.
Oh boy.
I mean, it works. I'm not gonna make you roll for this because this is too ridiculous to like punish you for.
Well, just don't drop me on your head because I'm a tin can.
As am
Hey,
I.
I'm a short
I'll be
tin
fine.
can, but I'm a tin can.
I'm
It
a
means
big
you're more
tin
you smell like-
compact tin can. It means you're primed for a more targeted like hit.
Yeah, you're like the corn can where I'm like the kidney bean tank can.
It's called tiny tanks, guys. Okay, let's go.
There we go.
This group. How many more sessions do we have together?
I'm so
You're
glad
so
we have so
strong.
many more.
anyways, so you begin moving through. You do see there are a lot of Selkies who are just looking bewildered as you head out. You do see Marcia is there, just confused as all hell by the whole thing, and like for once seems to have the expression of like, I have no words to respond to the situation. For once, she's
Sometimes
just
you just
like
gotta be an
speechless.
elephant.
I'm totally just gonna look down at her and just be like,
I know what that means. It gets. just that look of like, see you. But so
Farron, you couldn't go one day without
sassing someone.
no.
It's not
Okay,
in their nature.
It's the nature of battle. We challenge each other daily.
So you begin traversing through the forest. I would like a roll from somebody for navigational purposes to see if you can get through, if not just get through and figure out the right way to go, but also make sure you're clearing or to clear a path for the elephant. At least one or the other of these two.
I'll do
Okay.
it. It's like,
Okay, Farron taking the lead on this. Roll it.
17.
Okay. It's a bit of a bumpy ride at some points because Serena's feet do actually start kind of stumbling through some of the like areas where like the ground gives way because of her weight. But the actual like little pitfalls and traps that would normally for a human-sized being be incapacitating prove to be either ignored entirely because Farron points them out, or just they don't land as well because Serena is so big.
I am big, I am thick.
Kind of picturing it as like every so often Farron will just sort of like jump off and go into the trees and sort of scout ahead a bit. And just come back.
I'm just
and be
picturing
like,
just
no,
like
this way.
I'm just picturing like Serena or like them being like Serena, there's a and you're stepping over it. Okay. Oh, you don't care.
Elephant didn't care.
And the funniest thing is like I can telepathically communicate with y'all, so I'm just like do.
like, yeah.
This is never gonna be normal for me.
That's okay. That's okay. Like sometimes you just have to. Oh goodness, I'm tall.
It just gets distracted halfway through trying to say something. It's just like, oh wow, I'm an elephant who's tall. This is awesome.
Mhm.
Like suddenly you suddenly remember you're an elephant and just have to take
Yeah, I'm
stock
just
of
like,
that.
huh.
Wait, hold on. I am badass.
It is irrelevant.
All right.
You start making your way and you find that the forest does not seem as chaotic as it was before.
Yay.
There's more open areas and clearings. I will say you do start hearing in the distance, though, a familiar Louisiana bayou tinged drawl.
Oh.
And you also hear a very southern tinged drawl from the direction. And you start hearing very loud, angry sounds coming from that same direction as well.
Do I check it out?
No, we gotta go.
All right,
Absolutely
all
not.
right, all right.
No.
We gotta keep going.
I go for quiet elephant.
Let me a D20 to see how successful that is, because I want to actually know if an elephant can be quiet. I want to be amused by this result, no matter what it is.
Stealth
I
defense.
100% accidentally took all of my D6s instead of D20s. Please hold. All right, there we go.
Uh-oh.
No, like not like I have all of my dice. I just forgot that this is like a D20 system, not a D6 system.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's an 11. Oh my god, it worked.
Yeah, it just barely. You do have a moment, the whole party, where I kind of imagine either Farron's in the trees or Hao and Nim are like carefully perched on top in such a way where you have a moment where you see with a massive what looks to be a skewer, one of the koi fish faced humanoids that you'd met previously comes by and is like, that would be good eating if I was to get at it, if I could poke it, but
Just Farron would just be like putting a bone sort of like whistle down. Just,
maybe not.
I just in the mind chat, I'm just like, that person knows I can just step on it, right?
I mean, you probably could, but I don't think they're that smart.
Oh. Well, let me know if I should. Let's keep going.
Yeah, you do see, you hear from far away a frog just yelling at a pair of koi fish individuals, and you do see far off in the distance there's a brawl happening where it's just a fist fight between a couple of different fish humanoids and frog humanoids.
Do you know what?
We could break
One
this up
day.
so easily.
We could, but we're not going to because it's not not my circus, not my monkeys.
Nope. Let's just keep going.
Actually, I think those are fish and frogs, but okay.
Monkey.
The tone you said that makes me think like Howdy like either seen a monkey in some capacity or eaten a monkey, because it was said almost like a I'm hungry kind of tone. It's like monkey.
No,
Monkey.
it's the Kung Fu Panda monkey. When
Like chewy, but delectable.
Monkey.
All right, monkey consumption aside,
Mm-hmm.
I would like someone else to roll to see if to continue the navigation and describe what you try and do to help with getting through the rest of the forest. Because it looks still less chaotic, you still need a little bit of figure out your way through it.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, Howdian.
15.
That is a success. You manage, you just have this sense of just a feeling very faintly of the wind coming from a certain direction. You recognize it as coming from a more easterly direction.
Mm-hmm.
Easterly, as opposed to easterly. Easterly would be a very different thing, as there would be bunnies appearing. That would be very strange. You direct your trunked friend in that direction, and you find that you can see the edge of the forest again. It's very weird how it suddenly appears. There's just a sense of like it looks so far away, and then all of a sudden it's like right in front of you again. The same way as when you entered the forest.
All right.
And damn it, Ines. But you see far off the mountain range as the eastern edges of the forest do sort of not quite at the base. It's still probably maybe like half a day's travel to get to what you see is the trade post town of Flashpoint, to get to the edges of the long expanding mountain range known as a warrior's downfall, home to many natural things, and one of those being the cities and such that Howdian comes from. Also, I am noticing the chat, all of you. Don't think I'm not noticing this chat. God damn it. I will turn this campaign around. I swear to God, I will.
Oh God!
I will turn this elephant around.
Oh God!
Well, I will not invoke Rock's Fall, but I will consider it a valid alternative.
Do not, please. Well, as we see the mountain range, you can hear how it go. Home, sweet home.
You just hear like a cold.
Sure is. Sometimes it's hot. Sometimes it's cold.
Okay.
So just like pretty much everywhere else in the world then.
Well,
yeah.
You know, it really depends on where you were born. I mean, for me, over here it's like scalding hot, but like up there, that's like normal temperatures, you know? That's fine. Anyways, let's go. I wanna go. Please, can we go?
Yeah.
If you take through the night, through into the like roughly like 10-11 p.m.ish kind of range is when you'd probably reach the outpost.
All right.
I'll definitely de-elephant like a good mile out, just so they don't freak out, you know, seeing a massive elephant, you know, lumbering toward their little trading post.
Are you gonna warn us first?
Yes, I'm gonna warn you.
Just surprise.
I'm gonna be like, all right,
de-elephant.
Walk down the
I feel like if you didn't warn us, someone would accidentally fall on Serena.
It would be really funny. No, I would fall. Oh yeah, you're right. You would all fall on me. I'm just gonna be like, all right, y'all. I'm gonna de-elephant. I'll like crouch down, like elbows, and like give them like a trunk bridge to the ground.
And Farron's just gonna jump off anyway because it's Farron.
Farron has to be extra about everything.
That's okay. We still love them.
I'm short. I'm taking the practical way down.
Ooh, slide. It's slide now.
Slide.
I'm in armor. You don't want me to.
Nah, that's fine. Whatever harm I take here goes away when I de-elephant. It's fine. We're good.
High pain tolerance confirmed. Apparently. Don't make that face, Jace. I see that face.
I'm also kind of making that face, to be fair, so you know. But yeah, I will 100% just be like.
All right. There is Nova saying de-elephant. Damn it. Puns. I swear to God, it'll be the end of me. I will say. Oh hey, there's someone hosting our stream. Thank you, Michael Lang. Pleasure. So you have a moment where, as you're all getting together and getting adjusted and starting to head into the outpost, you hear flying from up above, and then the sound changes and it becomes more lion-like in its intensity. And you see sort of flying with kind of almost like bat-like wings, but with a long, curved, pointed tail
Chimera?
that seems to end in rather sharp spikes and like spines. Just go fly off, heading into the mountain range.
Do I know of a chimera residing in the mountains?
You don't know of a chimera.
A manticore,
What is
maybe?
it then?
Yes, it's a manticore.
Oh, there we
Oh, that's one.
I hate those things with a passion.
Good, because you do see a manticore just go flying off into the mountain range.
Oh, shit.
So we're just going right into the manticore of this whole issue, aren't we?
Oh my
Oh.
God!
That was impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
I-
That one
Thank
was
you.
actually
Wow.
Says, I'm done.
No, we finally have you back.
You
My
also
God.
hear, and you hear like more like the flapping of wings, but more like a bird's. And you see a few other like birds, almost like griffins, just go, but their feathers are all like pure white.
And
And
they're all huge and they're called rocks.
no, no.
I'm
That
just kidding.
that's another one shot. Actually, if you're interested
Oh,
in running
no.
another one shot, I do have
Oh.
a rake and another one shot.
Oh,
But
God.
Yes. Sold.
anyways, no, you do see rather large sized birds. Like we're hate using this comparison, but like large size category creatures, all of them. So bigger than you. So probably in the like roughly like 10-foot length kind of range for all of them. Big birds. And you also, as you're finishing getting into town, you hear wolves way out in the distance.
Yes, this is my place. This is my jam, y'all.
Hey, how is all of this normal?
I don't know, is it?
Yeah, you do know the mountains are home to quite a lot of different creatures.
All right.
It's a very you usually got to be of a certain kind of mindset and or a certain kind of prepared to make it through the mountains without some level of trouble. Hal's grown up here, so she probably has the most like experience dealing with all of this. But also even for Hal, it's like Hal's the kind of person who's grown up like, no, you don't go anywhere without like actually having a plan, kind of, or at least
No.
here.
Or a parent or a supervisor. And so I go, I mean, yeah, it's normal. Don't go out there unprepared though. I've gone toe to toe with some of these. Mostly avoided them though.
But you still have all your toes.
Yes. Yes, Serena, I do have all my toes. I hope we'll be able to get through the mountains without much trouble, but there'll be some effort. So
Well, yeah, there was some effort getting to the other place too. This is why we're going to the trading post.
all right.
The forest didn't have one of those.
I mean, we're fully prepared. We got a plucky attitude and a smorgasbord of sassy one-liners. What more do we need?
Well,
Weapon.
well, now see, we have some interesting new folks arrived to the outpost.
Excuse me, who is this?
Mayor Quimby?
I appreciate you so much for that, Chase. It was not the intent, but now I'm going to imagine that as the Mayor Quimby voice now whenever I do it. It was supposed to be the Pepperidge Farms cookie commercial guy. He's like, do you remember a time when cookies were available for only 10 cents each? Pepperidge Farm remembers, but now I'm going to make it the Mayor Quimby voice just for that. Thank you so much. But you see what looks like a very old like bird humanoid. Looks like Condor, but like very hunched over, very dull coloration to the feathers. Seems like has a pipe and very warmly attired, and seems to be just like sitting at like a little post right outside the main trading area, like the actual main part of the settlement. Is just sort of like, hey, you've got some new folks coming into town. Just has like a little like pipe that he's just like occasionally like refilling, and just looks like he's putting some like bits like snuff or something or what have you like into it, and just like, hello now, welcome.
Question. Would I have been through this town going to the festival?
Probably. I mean, it would have been a resupply. It's kind of this post is a resupply spot for the western end side of the mountains, because where you're at is you have Flashpoint here, the mountain range that kind of cuts across in the sea, and then there's another trading post on the other end. They sort of act as like folks who manage to get through the mountains, because it's usually very dangerous for trading caravans and what have you to get through it without some protection or some taking the time to navigate the area. They're resupply sort of spots for folks who are either going to Backfire or heading away from Backfire. So
All right,
it's
all
basically
right.
if you're heading to the coastline or if you're heading away from the coastline, both towns are sort of resupply spots.
All right. Um, so I go over to this man and I say, greetings. We come into town to have a little restock, and be on our ways to the mountain range. We won't be here for very long. Maybe stay the night.
Well, it's a pleasure to see some folks again. My name is Phyllis. Pleasure to see you all.
Phyllis,
You all seem like a charming sort of lot. Although that one might be very cold if they don't get some better clothing soon. Points at Nim in particular.
Oh shit, no shoes.
No shoes. No shoes. You better get some shoes.
You
I have
might want
shoes.
just doesn't wear them.
I have shoes.
Were you the
Why
one
do
who
you
goes
think
around barefoot? Oh no, wait. I think we're
No,
confused.
I thought it
Serena.
was how I thought
Yeah.
it was how that
it was
like
Serena
Locke
was the one who
kept
did it.
losing.
No, Hal was the one who kept losing shoes. I think Serena was the one who went barefoot, and I don't
I
know
just don't
who
do
was the one who.
shoes.
Yeah, Serena
Yeah.
doesn't wear shoes.
No, my boots stayed on. They were just very, 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 very soggy.
Well, whatever your reason for not being with proper shoe wear, you'd best get to it, unless you'd like them to be frozen to your body. Damn pipe.
They already are attached to my butt. Okay, anyway.
Frozen permanently to each other. Don't think I'm going to take kindly to sass here.
Oh shit! Oh my god! You just got owned. Oh.
And now
No,
this
it's an
is
old
the,
bird. It's an old condor birdkin. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Deeply funny.
Hmm. So I say, okay, we'll leave you to that pipe there, good sir. Have a good evening.
Yeah, best wishes to all of you.
And we just go into town, I think. And I while walking, I turn around and walk backwards, and I say, so we want to go. Well, it's kind of late, so maybe we should like get a place to sleep first, and then go shopping in the morning, right?
yeah, I'm for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, seems to make sense.
All right. And then we'll find a place to sleep, I guess, an inn or whatever.
Yeah, there's a spot that's nearby that looks like it's pretty that's pretty open to a lot of travelers. It's referred to as the Hare and Now, and there's like a nice little like bunny insignia as the sign. I see that face, Chase. You're welcome. Retribution is sweet. And as you walk in, you see that there is a very tall, very broad-shouldered elven individual who's there, kind of long, flaming red hair, fully like hides her and like big traveling cloak and is like fully together, but you get the sense very built, but also like currently in the middle of talking, like with a rather short goblin individual, very kind of pointed ears, also covered in a lot of different furs. They both look like they're maybe like a pair of hunters. The taller one is just sort of like, all right, Shadonis, what happened? See if you can explain it to me last time, because Eugene doesn't seem to actually have a sense of what went down. Well, if I'm being honest, I don't really know what exactly went down. All I recall is I heard yelling. It was very loud. I saw ice fire from something, something very big. Then I heard what sounded like a lizard, very big lizard, but I don't quite understand. And then I heard a lion roar, and then I heard something that sounded like a person, but it was very big. It's like, right. How much have you had to drink today, Adonis? It's like, oh, I've had quite a lot to drink, but it doesn't change the fact that there's been quite a that there's probably quite a lot over there. It's like, right. I mean, we have had some hunters and other folk report that there's been some difficulties, but a giant lizard? It's like, it's just I'm just telling you what I heard. It's just a big lizard. I think might have been scaly. I don't know. I don't remember what I saw.
Good shit.
Was it by any chance big and gray?
I don't really remember. You see the goblin who's turned around to talk with you is kind of like slightly tilting to each side as they're talking. You smell a very distinct scent of like cinnamon fire whiskey. As you need something to stay warm, and it looks as though Donis, the goblin, has taken to using whiskey to keep himself warm.
Would you like to sit down?
Oh no, don't worry about it. I'll be fine. I'll be towards the ground real soon.
Okay.
I don't think that's a good thing.
Oh, don't worry. It's happened dozens, hundreds, singles.
Are you okay?
Many times. It's happened many times, and you just see the goblin just sort of collapse on the floor and just start sleeping.
Okay then.
You know, for being this far out, this strangely feels like home.
I just look at this goblin on the ground and I say, smells like home, that's for sure.
Apologize for my companion.
Oh hell no! Don't you pee on that coat. I'll be right back.
Oh, oh my god.
I'm gonna say.
You know what? Beautiful.
You know what? I'm just gonna say that's the innkeeper dealing with a pet cat, with a frost cat. We're gonna say it's a frost lynx cat.
Oh, that's good.
That is not enjoying hearing about these things.
Yeah, a frost lynx cat it is. I see. Big.
That's a big chunk boy.
Big. Anyways, do I perhaps have some like recognition with this innkeeper big buff elf lady?
Well, the innkeeper is not the big buff elf lady. There is another person who's the innkeeper. The innkeeper, let's see, what are we gonna go with? You see mostly humanoid, but has but blue skin. The hair is white, but looks kind of wispy, almost like their hair is made out of like clouds.
Air elemental?
Mostly humanoid shape. They seem roughly they seem a little bit more on nowhere near as built as the tall fire-haired elven lady who's currently wrapped up. Never mind. I'm gonna ignore what chat is posting about. Thank you, chat, for your distractions.
I was gonna say every time I hear
Sunny.
fired elf lady, I see like 3 other screens immediately go.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes. You do see the wispy-haired innkeeper is like, Elred, if you don't make sure that Adonis doesn't stay on the floor again. He's done that far too many times. They really need to get better about that. Just because you can stay warm with fire whiskey doesn't mean you should only stay warm with fire whiskey.
I mean, doesn't seem like that bad an idea to me, but
Exactly.
Instead of that, actually, how much are beds, room, and also warm clothing?
The warm clothing, I'll have to see if I have some spares for you here, but the bed rest we normally, is this your first time coming by the outpost?
Yep. I mean, yes.
Well, no, but yes.
Take a room. Don't worry. We host folks as best we can when we have able. And right now, we've truth be told, been having a lot more vacancies here than as of late. Normally, we have more folks who are more local coming back, but it's been a little bit difficult as of late getting anyone to stick around. A lot of folks seem to be heading out.
Well,
for the festival, maybe.
I mean, maybe, but Elright, you wanna take this one? I have to go. Why don't I get you all a cup of tea and I just get that working?
yes, please.
All right. Why don't you fill them all in? I think you're probably a little bit more to the point of this, and I'm a little bit more better at this end of things. And you see the very kind-faced, wispy-haired, blue-skinned humanoid just sort of like walk into like a back area. You hear the messing. You hear a pot begin, and like the sound of someone like lighting a stove fire, and a pot beginning to like get heated up. All right. Well, you're all new here, so what did I explain before? I'm Elret. Pleasure to make all of your acquaintances. You all seem like a charming lot. And you at least have one person in your party who looks like she can take care of herself. Like points over at Audion.
We all look offended.
I put like a big like a fist on my chest, and I say, of course.
Yeah, Nim is going to like. Someone mentioned clattering as Nim's hammer falling over. Nim's gonna go pick up their hammer and just look embarrassed.
No offense to the rest of you, but I'm more inclined to think she might have a sense of what's happening around here, seeing as a lot of us, points to the hair, a lot of folks from around here are more used to navigating the terrain. And a lot of you don't exactly look like you're local to the region, and sort of points to Serena's lack of shoes.
It's, look, personal choice.
That's fair too, yeah. It's not the most sensible of choices, but it's personal choice nonetheless.
I'll be fine. I'll make myself some shoes out of snow. I'll call them snowshoes.
You're a very strange one. Just sort of like
People keep telling me
turns to speak to Howdian directly, like not denying you're there, but just sort of like, I'm going to talk to what she perceives as the adult of this group right now.
Valid.
Yes, I've gained access. All right.
Be insulted all you want, Jace. Farron hasn't said shit, so she has no reason to trust to understand fairness other than you making those faces.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there's like the lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
Oh my god. Wow.
Oh my
That was a good one.
Wow.
No, honestly, we kind of have that in spades right now. You have the wind playing touch truth right there. the lion that just went flying above, and the audacity of this woman.
Absolutely.
So sort of pick up on what Penny started speaking of. By the way, that one over there is Penny.
Nim just yells, "Hey, Penny!"
Hello there, dear. Is Elritz managed to tell you my name? I'll get to you with the proper introduction once I have your tea.
Right.
And then Elric just sort of continues. Well, frankly, it's been kind of strange that I was inclined to believe it was just general incompetence of most of the hunters who'd been going out as of late, but I'm starting to worry, if I'm being honest. Been seeing more of the wolves coming out. They don't normally head out this far out unless something's bothering their normal areas where they hunt. And the griffins themselves, we used to get a sighting once every month. We've seen several of them in the past few days, not the past couple of weeks. And everyone.
What's changed?
Unsure. All I know is the weather has been picking up quite terribly. The blizzard's been getting more intense. The waterfall normally doesn't stay this frozen for this long, but it looks as though something is affecting it a little bit more than usual. There's always some bit of mess from other planes and such, probably interrupting some trickster from the land of the Fae or some other place, or maybe somewhere from an elemental plane looking to cause havoc. But truth be told, I'm starting to wonder if something else hasn't moved in, or something else hasn't been seen, because we've been getting reports of some other sort of foul creature of some strange description just roaming about. But most of the folk who've been saying that have been all drunk, so I don't put much stock in it.
What's the thing look like? Or was that what gestures to person on the floor was describing?
Well, no. I'll be honest about Adonis. Adonis is, most of the time, Adonis exaggerates from being entirely clear. And that the last time we heard that something was massive, it turned out to be a tiny bird. The last time we heard it was a monstrous giant of some sort. It was just a rather burly looking man who was lost and was looking for food. So he's not the most reliable of people, for being entirely honest.
Are there any consistencies with where he's been seeing these things?
A bit out in one of the valleys. Frankly, I don't know why Adonis has been going that far anyways, but I imagine with he's been getting as curious as the rest of us have been about what's been going on.
Liquid courage, do they not call it?
Or liquid incompetence, whichever one you would prefer. Either one seems appropriate.
I prefer more liquid so that I can have more blood so that I can punch things better.
You're also a strange one, but I like you.
That's very curious that the natural environment has taken such a turn. I don't remember it being like that up in the mountains.
I mean, truth be told, though we do occasionally get like blizzards and things that are localized, that is part of the way the mountain is, but never this extreme and never this often. So I'm curious as to whether or not something else has moved in. And again,
so you know exactly where it is, or you have an idea of the area?
We know the region where a lot of these things have been sighted, but frankly, again,
the valley that way, right?
Yes, it would require going a bit deeper into some of the mountain range, but it would take some time. You'd need to be properly geared, and here's the thing: something's been bothering me about the descriptions. I wouldn't have paid it two minds if it had happened maybe once or twice, but we've had consistent reports about this, and again, descriptions are rather ghastly.
Like what?
She gives a description. It sounds
rather ghastly.
Like, well, yes, and also it sounds like the Ravagers.
Glad I didn't take that sigil off your coat, Aaron. Okay. I need to know what I need to get there. I need probably a couple more weapons, and I also need to sleep. So if you can help us with any of that, that would be really nice.
Well, I can supply you with some of it, at the very least, and I'm sure Penny would be able to check in. She tends to keep a decent stock of weapons and such. It's a rather comforting and abiding host for anyone who's happened to stop by. You're welcome. If you don't, if you need any other space to sleep, you're welcome to join me in my room.
If there
I'll
is
sleep in a different room, it's fine. I just I'm.
To be clear, she says it with no flirtatious energy whatsoever. She's just like,
Oh no,
it's just
Nim is literally just awkward.
No. But I wanted to also make that clear for everyone, for the sake of
the
everyone's
rest
sanity.
of
Oh
them.
no, everybody else
there is
is
no,
just like.
no.
You can just say
like,
Jen.
Yeah. Or
Yes.
or Inez.
I was gonna say there are at least two people.
Yes.
Half the time, three.
Yeah. And so I'll say like, oh, if she doesn't want it and there's truly no other place, I don't want to invade your space, I will gladly take that spot.
If you'd like. We should have enough rooms for everyone. But if you want more company.
I mean, it's good to finally see someone of my own and spend some time with them. It truly does a heart good.
The half of your party stares in judgment at that statement. What do you mean your own?
It's fine. That's fine.
All right, that's fine. Everything we went through means nothing.
Yeah. No. No,
Playing true to lesbian character of abandons at first sign of hot lady.
But yeah, no, Nim is going to take the person, pick them up, put them off of the floor, and then go over, take something out of their pack, hold it up and be like, I don't have a lot of cash, but I have this. And they're going to hold up the kiln gauze that they have.
Oh. Fair play to you, my little goblin friend. It's quite nice. Probably keep a lot of different weapons in repair and probably allow Penny to share some of them with folks so that hopefully we won't keep having to just look for scraps when folks inevitably lose their way out in the blizzard. Fair enough. I'll put in a good word for you. Right about this time, Penny comes back and there's a bunch of these nice steaming mugs of, you see there's leaves sort of steeped at the bottom of it, and it is I'm just going to say it's a real world thing. It's a mate de coca, which is essentially it's tea that's brewed and made from coca leaves. Not cocoa, coca leaves. Like it's a particular variety that's drank in Bolivia. So
yeah, I've seen this.
Somewhere. Yeah, it's very soothing. It's very cozy. And for further clarification, Penny points out, well, if you all need some rooms, yeah, Adonis will have his own. We don't have enough for all of you. We'll be one short. And then Ellerad would say, oh, one of them had already volunteered to bunk with me if they want. Oh, all right, well, we'll be fine. And I'll see if I can look in and get you some more warm clothing, because I think sort of points towards like Nim in particular. I feel like you're going to need a lot more of it. Are you partial to any particular kind of weapon gear? Like starts going to another back room and pulls out, are you more of the big swinging type? Pulls out a ridiculously large great axe. Are you more like this? Pulls out a massive warhammer. Are you more like this? Pulls out a massive sword that you would imagine a very blonde and spiky haired individual would be wielding at some point. Goes back, pulls out what looks like a long blade where the handle, it almost looks like there's like kind of like a Magitech sort of device with a nice trigger at the end of it. It's weird. It's kind of a long point. It's weird to say. It doesn't look like it's functioning very well. She puts that back. Let me see. Do we have anything else? No, no. And you just I have this too. If you're more the dancing sort of type for combat, and sort of pulls out what looks like a thief sword, which is essentially like it's a central hand, a thick Darth Maul kind of lightsaber esque, but it's just two long pointed blades. It's Zidane weapon for Final Fantasy IX. For anyone's curious.
That's good. I like it.
We've had a lot of different travelers come through here. Some of them have left behind their things.
How much for pretty much everything that's in working condition if I trade that for weapons and gear, pointing at the killing gauze that they had.
You see her like put on a pair of spectacles, and almost instantly they cloud over, and she's like, oh, damn it, why does it keep doing this? There we go. They immediately cloud over. Oh, I'm going to talk to Artorius about getting me a new set of glasses, damn it. That are cloud proof. I told him to make the enchantment last longer. You see somewhere in one of the corners, you see this very like sleepy looking robed figure who looks very cozily dressed and is asleep, and you see her just like get like a small little pebble. She goes outside, gets a bit of snow that has started to form on the ground, and just hucks it at him. Artorius, make me better glasses. It's like, I'll be fine. I'll work on it in the morning. It's like, good for nothing enchanter. Just carries in. Anyways, pretty much any weapon you like should work for your purposes. I would say the one with that weird funky looking trigger thing doesn't exactly work unless your timing is very good when you're attacking, but it's not the best thing.
All right.
Honestly, I'm probably no. I like hammers. I'm taking the hammer.
Fair enough.
And if that gets us gear, honestly, climbing gear would help. I know I can use my Mason's hammer as a pick too.
Well, let's take a look. Yeah, I should have at least enough sets of gear for 3 of you. I don't know about what the fourth one of you is going to do, but can at least.
Oh, I'm set.
Oh, confident gal. I like that. Artorius.
The way that I fight is less with items and more with just what I have on me at the time.
Well, you're an improviser. That's a lot more than what some folk do when they go out here.
I'll
either commend you for being brave, or I'll either commend you for being brave, or I'll say a prayer at your grave for being foolish. Either one would work.
Hey, that rhymes.
Hey, I mean, when you have a friend that can turn into a snow leopard, I think we're good.
You're a very curious lad and reveal quite a lot of personal information about yourselves quite quickly. It's very strange. Not most folks just tend to get gear and then they just head out.
Well, we got tea from you.
And also, I have no filter.
That's not a bad thing, dear. Anyways, I'll see about making sure you're all set for the morning when you wake up, and I'll get you on your way.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you as always, Penny.
As we sit down for tea, I want to take a sip and then look around the group and say, so that big thing in the temple back there that came out of the portal and stuff. I saw something that wasn't cool, to say the least. And I also don't understand how it could be here. What came crawling out of the portal was a big wolf-like dark creature that has been pestering me for quite some time. And how it got here is very curious to me. So I was just checking in, like, would you guys know how that could be back here all the way?
I mean, that's not what I saw.
It wasn't? What did you see?
Yeah, that's...
I saw a being of fire and disease and blight. Everything it touched withered, rotted, and turned to dust.
It has to change.
For each of us.
Well, because at first I saw... Okay, it's creepy. The person that I hate most. First, I saw the person that I hate most, but it's not because I heard that voice in my head after I cast that spell on the last pillar and it broke. The thing that's trying to do this has... I can't explain it. It was a lot of like creepy... It's like the apostles, but if you gave them more like eyes and appendages and horrible tar stuff.
I wonder if it shows us what we least want to see.
I think it's something like that.
What did you see?
I don't particularly want to talk about it.
That's fair. I don't think we want to talk about what that was ever.
Well, at the very most, hopefully we will have to face this thing one more time. I don't know if it's the same thing, but another part of it certainly, or another branch. Hopefully it will be something. Either we'll be more prepared for it or it'll be something else.
It is, but it isn't. I like that Zahara said part of that was in Odyssea. But she also took
it.
So it's not just there, it's another thing that's probably similar to... Well, now it's the thing I don't want to deal with at all, but it threatened to get inside my head too. So I'm thinking that it probably isn't just...
Right.
You know, Zahara can be in more than one place at once, so why not literally every
Why
other
not this
horrific thing we have to fight?
Only one way to find out.
Only one way to find out, indeed.
So that was a cryptic sentence. It was supposed to say we have to go and find out. Like, you know.
Yeah. I took that literally.
Okay. It was supposed to be dramatic.
All right. No, I understand.
I love you guys.
Yeah.
As we are getting near the end of the session,
and
I do want to respect it. You know, some of our folks are going to have to head out real soon. The party is able to rest and recover. It will take some time to process the full extent of what you may be facing in the future and how much that's affected any single one of you. Although I will say, as sort of a last note, probably before Farron, before you turn in, you would have Penny come by you, like just sort of like grab your attention, just be like, if you wouldn't mind, dear, I just wanted to double check something about the gear with you.
Okay.
And you see the
She
gear
wants
is
to check your gear.
she calls you over, and the gear is nowhere inside, by the way, and she's made sure to do this when no one else is around. Dear, if you ever need to talk, I'm up at most hours tonight. We usually have people coming in. If you need to.
I might take you up on that.
I don't know what any of your group is doing. It seemed like rather strange conversation you were all having out in the middle of the inn. But it seems like you all are trying to do something important. And at the very least, whatever it is seems like it's weighing on you quite heavily. And, just want to give a reminder that you don't have to do these kinds of things alone. Even a stranger is willing to help at some points.
Thank you.
Sort of sets another mug of tea, and also has another cup in front of her as well. He's like, I made another cup of tea in case you'd like it, but if you also would like, you see there is what looks like homemade cocoa with with like little bits of like sprinkles, and like it looks as though she pulls out like a little like bag. It looks like for a second like it's a dehydrated grape, so basically a raisin, and then she's like over the words and sumut, and you see it turns into marshmallows. Oh, Artorias is good for something after all.
I definitely take the cocoa.
Try yourself, dear. Far too young to be stressing about these kinds of things. You also realize from her the kind of doting behavior, she actually, it wasn't apparent from the wispy hair and just the general like nature of like how she looked, but she actually looks a bit older. Probably a bit more in the motherly kind of range. Like older mom kind of range.
Yeah.
At least that's kind of how I imagine, which I think I'm reading that wrong, how Farron might pick up given her age. Even if she's not particularly that old, she has that kind of vibe.
Makes sense. Is there like a fireplace like in the central part of the inn?
Yeah, you would see that there is a sleeping Artorias and there is a sleeping Adonis nearby. They're both just passed out next to each other, just like
And
kind
I'd
of
probably
face.
I'd probably just go and like sit cross-legged in front of the fireplace for a bit and just sip my cocoa.
And well, Farron has that nice image. Everyone else is able to sleep. Howdian, you discover Elret is a very talkative person.
Yay. I like it.
And also just talks about proper like fireplace of fire creation and things of that sort, like for a couple of hours. Like is the kind of person who like if anyone else had offered the room like sleeping with, it might have been flirtatious. For her, it's just like, no, this is practical. She's just spends a good amount of time just like explaining how to best survive, even when it seems very clear you know the area decently.
And I still listen, and I appreciate every little thing that she might even like teach me. So yeah, it's good.
So with that last scene, with a very talkative, tall, buff elf lady, which I'm going to confirm she's also trans, tall, trans, buff elf lady, chatting with another buff elf lady. That is where we close the session for today, as the group has arrived at a warrior's downfall and has seen the glimpses of some of the things they may come to deal with in the coming sessions.
Fine.
So
cool.
thank you everyone for stopping by, the folks who hosted us, and everyone else who's enjoyed the punnery, whether to my dismay or not, enjoyed the various Final Fantasy and Legend of Zelda references scattered throughout. And yes, for anyone for confirmation, that was a gunblade. Very rusty looking gunblade at the point. The owner must not have taken care of it, must have been brooding too much. But with that being done, we're all going to do if we can, quick outros. It's a reminder to myself as well. Who you are, where we can find you, any work you want to hype up right now, and then we will head out after that point. So whoever would like to take the wheel.
Yeet! Hi guys, I'm Jen, your local punster. I have been playing Serena in this lovely campaign. I love her so much. She's amazing. But pronouns she, her. I can be found also on the Plot Hunters show on twitch.tv/plothunters and on Twitter at Jenburb, JIENBIRB, not to be confused with Fireburb. But yeah, that's me. Most of my games are home games and private, but I do have 2 games that I actually show up online on.
All right, next up.
Wonderful. Oh.
I'm still in second
All right.
place.
There we go.
Hi, I'm
Nice.
Gabrin. I played Nim, your very blunt invoker. I am on Twitter at Sarah Ladra, which is again a name that I really should probably change. SYRLAIDRE. And on Facebook at Kelty Smith. So if you want, hit me up there, and Black Lives Matter, and take care of each other.
Hey everyone, I have been Jace, playing your wonderful, lovable ranger Farron. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, basically anywhere there is social media at AceTrainerJace. And if you head to the TikTok, you can also find your way to a Discord that I partially run called the Wayfarer's Cove, which is also where I talk about and develop a lot of my homebrew content for D&D 5e if you want to come check that out.
All right, then it's up to me. Hi, it's me, your friend Inez. I've been playing your friendly, cool, buff elf lady, Haurian fighter, who loves you very much, as do I. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Inez666 or an underscore behind it. You can find me. It's fine. Still working on getting back to streams, so you can find me on twitch.tv/ns666, where I do like just chatting streams, or I sometimes do my makeup on streams. It's very variety. I play games, all that stuff. Let's see. So I think you can still register to vote in some states on election day tomorrow, in some states. So please do your research and look up which states you can still register to vote in, because it's very important that we participate in these elections. It's very, very important. So go on and vote if you haven't yet. Yeah, Black Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter. I don't know. I guess that's it. We love you very much, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and see you next week.
Fantastic. And I believe that's everyone. That is everyone besides myself, correct? Okay, I would try and make this as quick as I can. So, hi, I'm Angela. I am your guide here on the Heroes Without Limits channel for the Plains of Providence campaign that you've been watching. I am also a professional writer and poet over at Philosophem on Patreon, where I have currently 145 pieces available for viewing, 73 that are public, the rest which are patron exclusive. You can find me on Twitter at Phoenix24Fem, where you can support my work through different PayPal and other means. I am also in the process of writing games inspired by For the Queen, Winnie the Pooh, and Ryutama. I'm also a member of the Wildcards Royal Flush Gang over at All Nerds here on Sundays at 3 p.m. EST, where I play a Death Doula hospice caregiver who has the mythos of Sheep Totek, our Lord of the Flayed Skin, god of life and rebirth, inside of her. And I'm also over this Friday, I'm going to be over at Utopia starting at 9 p.m. EST for the Chimera RPG campaign that's happening over there, where I play a transillusionist reality and body warper because I have a brand and I stick to it. I am one half of the Queerly Yours relationship podcast with my partner of 9+ years, both polyamorous, trans, and interracial couple, and we talk about a lot of different things related to, I guess, our relationship success, stresses, and all that. And I'm also part of the online media collective Art for Ourselves, an all QT online publishing platform. I think that's almost everything. Oh, and I'm also a musician for hire, that I do things for website. I do themes for websites, for Twitch streams, and also if you just need a musical piece, I can write that for you because I do good work. All that being said, I think that covers everything. I just want to quickly say thank you for tuning in, giving the support for hosts, anything like that. Do not forget, Black Lives Matter. Black lives have always mattered, and will often folks in those communities have often been the source of our liberation long before any of these things became trends, long before any of this became something that folks wanted to talk about for 2 months and then stopped caring when it wasn't profitable to do so. Care about lives, care about Black lives, Indigenous lives, all different lives, all year round. Do your part, vote, because it's a necessary stopgap to a lot of harms, but know that if you cannot not just do that, but to support funds. There are a lot of trans folk who could use your support right now. There are a lot of disabled folk for different things that they're dealing with could use support and funds. Help Black story collectives and creators like over Motherlands RPG, and just all the different folks. Like I need diverse GMs, Tiny to Pay, Gabe James Games, folks like that who are all doing tremendous work in the scene, even just in our scene. If you don't have the kinds of friends who are already talking to you about those opportunities, that's your first job to work on. Work on your own internalized white supremacy. Actually make friends by being a decent person. Be the person you want to see in the world. And the world we want to see and the people we want to see are not white supremacists. They don't endorse ableism. They don't support capitalist fuckery. We last through and make better worlds by supporting each other and caring about one another, not by fucking over each other.
Yes.
We love you all. Take care of yourselves, regardless of election results. Stay safe, everyone. Do what you need to take care of one another. We love you, and we'll see you next week as we say goodbye. So take care, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next week.